Have you ever start to play a game for so long that you start to feel very hyper-focused? Like you're hitting all of your shots, you're upgrading, you're winning round after round, like you're in the zone. Hey everyone, my name is Jojo with MoonBoots Capital, and in this episode, I am taking a deeper dive with the ZONE token. ZONE is a project launching on GameFi and it's built on the Algorand blockchain. With it, you can essentially monetize the time you spent playing non-blockchain games like Fortnite or Warzone, turning almost any video game into a potential source of income. All right, let's dive deeper into the zone and enjoy this chat. I literally spent hours, and I mean it, hours, diving into your project. And I just wanted to know more about the future and the plans. And it's not just a blockchain game that you guys are creating. You guys are creating so much more than that. So Adi, I have here the founder and the CEO of ZONE. And I'm so happy, Adi, that you are here. So hi, how are you?
Hi, thanks for having me over. Looks like I'll have to get you a lot of coffee for the hours of research that you did on the
I
project.
had too
Appreciate
much.
your time.
I really can't have more. I am here. But thank you.
Amazing.
It's very considerate of you. But yeah, I wanted to dive in really quick because this is a growing project and this is an ongoing thing. I really wanted to know about your previous experience prior to Zone. What really led you into what you're doing now?
Yeah, great. So I've actually been in the crypto space for a good part of the last decade
Mhm.
and was lucky enough to be early along the way. And we also happened to be the first venture-backed crypto company in Singapore called ZPX. So we did a multitude of things within ZPX. Some worked, some didn't work, but it was a whole lot of experimentation back in the day. We also hosted, in fact, one of the largest conferences in Singapore called Decentralize back in the day, and it was super exciting. And then along the way, I kind of got jaded in the space because there were no real use cases coming out. It was just a lot of hype and a lot of projects
Um,
that had done ICOs, but then no one was really building what they had promised to the community, which was a bit disappointing. So I took a bit of a break and I actually started looking into the esports world, which is also super exciting and didn't really have the resources to do much in the esports world. But I started getting super involved and I started seeing people around me who were like 20 years old or 21 years old, spending 10 hours a day or 12 hours a day in playing Fortnite and then playing Rocket League and then playing FIFA. And it was just nonstop. And it was an entirely new world for me to understand why people are spending 10 hours a day on this thing. And then, luckily enough, again, along the way, I acquired a team for one of our crypto projects. And the members of that team happened to be super plugged in into esports. So I said, look, here's some money. Go out and experiment and show me where we can create value. And that's really how we started looking into esports. And then throughout this year, we were thinking about how we can combine our expertise in crypto and esports. And that's really how Zone came about.
Doing what you're doing now and how long you've been in the game, which I'm very jealous that you've been in this whole industry for that long. How did you guys come up with the idea of monetizing the time that people spent playing video games?
And that's a really interesting story. So we did a lot of research in the time we were building out stuff in the esports world. And what we realized is that there's only 1% of gamers in the entire world that are monetizing their skills.
1%?
99%, yeah, it's ridiculously low. But this
Yeah, that's
1%
really
is
low.
making, nine figures. They're making like, unbelievable amounts of money in certain cases just
Mm,
through streaming or winning tournaments. Like an average, League of Legends tournament now
Mhm.
is like $40 million. So the winning price is $40 million. So I mean, if you're really good at this stuff, you can really
Yeah.
really monetize. But
Mhm.
everyone else is still spending 10 hours a day, and they're not really monetizing their skills. So what happened is, while we were thinking through all of this esports stuff and crypto stuff this year, I
Mhm.
got COVID earlier in this year. And while I got COVID, I decided to pick up the PlayStation after like 6 years and
You're
start
like,
playing
all
FIFA.
right.
Yeah, because the crazy thing was, the first 10 days I didn't get a test because I was like, oh, is COVID is fine. I got the test, and then they asked me to stay in the room for another 10 days. So I picked up the PlayStation, and I was like, oh my God, let me play some games. So started playing FIFA. One day into FIFA or 2 days into FIFA, I was so bored playing against the computer. And I started thinking to myself, what would make this more interesting? And the outcome of that was, I realized if I could challenge my friend in Singapore or one of my friends in, excuse me, or one of my friends in Europe, I could actually test my skills, right? And like, even if you're playing a tennis match offline and you put $10 onto this tennis match, it just makes it more exciting from that perspective. So we decided that we would allow people to test their skills by putting real money to work on any
Mhm.
game that they're already playing. So we started off building this project, and we launched with chess, because chess is really popular in the crypto world as well.
Is it? I
And
didn't know
it is. There's so
that.
many founders in the crypto world who play chess, and it's kind of like a hidden skill. But like, behind the scenes, it's either poker or chess that a lot of people are playing, and it really helps you kind of channelize strategy and put your skills to the test.
Yeah.
So we started off with chess, and we started testing this within a small community, and it was extremely popular. Like, everyone loved the idea of being able to challenge each other, but being able to challenge each other in a decentralized fashion.
Mhm.
Meaning, like, I can be sitting in Dubai and I can challenge someone in Singapore directly via the blockchain, without having to take too many complicated steps in order to do this.
Mhm.
Because the way we allow people to do it is, they don't even have to manage keys if they don't want to, right? So we allow people to sign up with their email, we allow them to sign up with Discord, we allow them to tap into the existing networks that they already have.
That's incredible. And there's no restrictions. So if I'm sending money over here, I'm not going to get a warning saying like, "Hey, you can't do that." Unlike other games that is like only based in the US.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think what's happening increasingly, so we have a fairly large user base of gamers in India and Africa.
Mhm.
And as more and more people are coming online,
Yeah.
we're seeing more users from this part of the world. And like, I mean, we're seeing users from places I have never heard of. And these guys are exceptionally good at the games that they're playing, which is actually amazing to see how the internet is kind of leveling the playing field
Yeah.
around the entire world. And then games are allowing people to start monetizing their time. And then Zone comes in and allows them to amplify this monetization and really hone in their skill. And it doesn't matter, right? I mean, someone could come in with 5 Zone tokens and challenge someone else. Someone can come in with 50,000 Zone tokens and challenge someone else. So it's entirely dependent on you and how you want to use the protocol.
That's so crazy to me, thinking that, yeah, you're probably hearing all these like new areas pop up, different countries that are playing the game, and all because, yeah, because you can win some real money. Which that kind of leads me into, can we kind of talk? I just learned this today about the Discord aspect of things. So, can we go over the Discord server aspect for the first time users and what that would look like for them?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when we were going through the cycles, because we've been in this space for a while, what we realized is that the biggest challenge is going to be the UI UX. for users who have never interacted with the blockchain, which in our case is a large number of users out of Africa and India. So we thought really hard as to how we can use existing network effects where people or gamers are already hanging out and simplify that process for them to come in and participate in Zone. So what we did is our entire Web3 flow. So you can go in and challenge people through the website. You can plug in your Algo wallet and you can challenge anyone directly via Web3. But what we also did is we took this entire flow and we implemented that into Web2, meaning into Discord, where
Yeah.
people can sit in existing servers. So there's multiple million gamers sitting in Discord in existing servers for FIFA, for Dota, for Valorant, for chess, for multiple crypto projects as well. And now you can go in and challenge your friends directly within these servers. So there is no need to go to a Web3 platform. There is no need to go in and set up complicated wallets.
Right.
We have kind of solved for that middleware layer where you can go in and I can type in challenge Jojo for 50 zone tokens on chess. And I just have to enter text and we can start playing chess against each other around the world. And
Cool.
depending on who wins, the smart contract kicks in and tokens move from one party to the other.
Yeah, I would definitely lose. I mean, I wouldn't even accept it. You would send me that, I'd be like, sorry, I know I'm gonna lose. I can't take that risk. Because if I
But
lose, that's it. I can't pull out. Once it's in there, it's gone.
well,
But
what we're also allowing people to do is, so you may find certain gamers who are extremely good at what they do, and they may not have the capital to do that. So there may be someone in a tier 3 city in India who's exceptionally good at chess, but just doesn't have the capital to start monetizing their skills. What you could do is you can come in and say, look, I'm going to support you in your cause, and you're going to be a
whoa,
scholar. Yeah, you're going to be a scholar for me. And then whatever you win, we decide how much we're going to do in terms of splits on the winning. So if you watch Ready Player One, or if you're seeing what's happening with Axie Infinity,
yep,
it's kind of like building these guilds. So your skill could be just finding people who are exceptionally good at these games and going and saying, I'll back you.
that's a
I'm
great
not good at
idea.
it.
And you are literally telling all the secrets to whoever watches this. They're gonna be like, "Oh, great idea! I'll just do that. I'm gonna find people.
Of
I'll get
course.
a team of 10, and then they'll just keep, pumping up numbers and keep winning for me." So not a bad
Which is
idea. That's
exciting.
actually great.
Yeah. Hmm.
Crazy. You know what? I didn't even tell you. So while I was going through your website, I saw that you were, you know what? Let me actually share because I am a very visual person. So give me one second. So as I was scrolling through, just kind of diving into more about what you guys have for the future plans, and I saw that you are supporting these games. So Clash Royale, Counter Strike, League Legends, Dota 2. Like these are some pretty big games.
Yeah, again, going back to our idea, so we thought about it a lot. A lot of people in the crypto world are going down the path of creating their own blockchain games,
Mm-hmm.
which is amazing, right? I mean, it unlocks entirely new economies and entirely new business models, which we're seeing with Axie Infinity and the likes.
Mm-hmm.
Our take was slightly different. We wanted to focus on existing games and existing network effects around those games, especially because we've been working in the esports space for the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
We realize that there are certain places
Yeah.
and certain pieces that need to be solved for in order to enable existing games. And there's really no need to kind of build out entirely new blockchain games from our perspective. There's
Yeah.
already a massive market and pretty big gap that exists in enabling folks around the world, especially in emerging markets, to monetize their existing skills. And that's really where our focus is. That's why we wanted to take existing games and then take existing network effects in social media such as Discord, combine all of this and add a layer of the zone protocol on top, so that we can scale very quickly as well. Because most of these games, I mean, they have millions and millions of players on all of these games. And our objective is to start taking market share slowly and allowing people to tap into their skills on these games.
I don't know if you know this, but I used to be a really big Counter Strike person, and
Amazing.
I used to play
Nice.
it for hours when I was a kid. So when I saw that, nostalgia kicked in. I was like, oh, this already feels pretty comfortable, and this is kind of ideal. I have all these games that I grew up with all in one place, and I can win money, and this is very easy to use, and it simplifies my whole life. So I like what you're doing there. And then that kind of leads me into this question. What are some ways that gamers can earn money using Zone?
It's all about earning money. There's actually about earning money and earning credibility
Hmm.
in Zone. So one of the main things utilities with the Zone token is the ability to challenge each other. So if both of us wanted to challenge each other on a game of Counter-Strike right now, we would have to go to the Zone ecosystem. We would have to acquire a certain number of Zone tokens and then participate and challenge against each other. The
Hmm.
zone tokens themselves have fundamental utility, which should hopefully increase the value of the token as the network increases.
Right.
What you can also do is use your zone tokens to acquire a special set of NFTs that we have, which are called the AFK elephants, so away from keyboard elephants. And you can use the zone token to buy loot boxes within the framework. And as you buy more loot boxes, you can start collecting more and more elephants. And these elephants right now range from $800 to $63,500. So there's like a wide range of pricing on these elephants, and you can go in and you can fight for them, and then you can basically earn money by using your zone tokens within that ecosystem as well. And interestingly enough, we were the title sponsors for Tiebreak Tens in Dubai recently. And the
Right.
first few elephants went out to the world number one FIFA player, Mossad Dosari. The next elephant went out to Taylor Fritz, who's one of the top tennis players from the US, who just won Indian Wells in the US as well. And then the final one went to Gael Monfils, who is one of the top tennis players in France and the world. So these guys actually challenged each other on a game of FIFA, or actually multiple games of FIFA, and obviously the world number one FIFA player won ultimately. But it was really close, and it was really surprising to see. So these elephants are already within a popular cohort of people, and
Hmm.
increasingly more. I can't say names now, but some super well-known gamers are acquiring these as well as we speak. So that's number two. Number three is you can come in and stake your tokens. So we've taken a lot of the elements of DeFi and we've plugged them into this gaming ecosystem. And you can come in and stake your tokens in order to get an additional portion of revenue distributed to you. You can come in and earn more zone tokens for the duration of the time that you have staked the tokens for. But then you can also come in with your Algorand or USDC tokens, and you can come in and stake those as well. And we have like a reward payout for the next 12 to 16 months. So you can also come in and earn money
Hmm.
through that process. And then number four is like I was telling you, you can come in and sponsor someone in the Philippines, or you can sponsor someone in India and earn money for everyone in the ecosystem. So there's multiple ways around earning in the Zone ecosystem. In time, we are also looking to add features like play to earn on existing games. So if you're really good at Candy Crush, you keep playing Candy Crush the whole day, you can come in and you can bet against the bot. You can challenge your skill against that bot, and you'll be able to start earning while you are playing these games as
Oh,
well.
that's cool. So I don't need another person to challenge. I can just challenge a bot for a very long time to kind of build that portfolio and then maybe challenge you know, a more experienced person with more capital.
Exactly. So that's coming more in phase two. Right now, it's more peer-to-peer and 1v1. But
Mm,
in phase two, we're going to enable you to challenge a bot as well, get better in the game, feel comfortable. But during that entire process, you're still earning zone as
mm,
well. So there's like various levels of monetization involved. Ultimately, we want to allow the community to decide if there should be more monetization tools, if there should be a larger or a smaller share of the fees that the protocol takes. Because right now, the protocol is set to take 10% fees on
mm,
every challenge that's happening. But over time, it'll purely be a community governed decision
mhm.
as to what they want to do. So a lot of power in the zone ecosystem. The more time you spend there, the more you're going to monetize.
In the last minute, you mentioned the algorithm. I'm sorry, I can't even say it. Algorand blockchain. And I remember when we first had our conversation, I was like, I felt bad. I was like, man, like I've heard of it, but I don't really know. So I wanted to actually dive deeper into it on why build it on the Algorand blockchain.
Now, that's a great question. I'm actually getting a lot of that question from the community, and I've become like a spokesperson for Algorand as well,
Yeah, they should
silently.
hire you. You've been doing a
I
great
know,
job.
right? Yeah. So the biggest reason for us was the fact that most of our users are in developing economies. And most of these users, forget paying $100 in gas fees. Most of these users won't even be able to pay $1 in fees. And even if they are able to pay $1 in gas fees, just mentally, they have this psychological block that they will not pay $1 in gas fees. So that was one of our biggest reasons, because in Algorand, the transaction fees is so low and has been consistently low since they have launched. That was the biggest selling point. The next one, which was really important for us, was transactions per second. Now, transactions per second, again, like our users are familiar to Web2 platforms. They're not necessarily so clued into Web3 platforms. And forget waiting for 10 minutes for a transaction to go through. Forget waiting for 3 minutes for a transaction to go through. They need instant finality or near instant finality. And Algorand has, I don't know if you've ever tried using Algorand, but like it almost feels like we're using Web2 platform in a slightly slower bandwidth of the internet. And they're now increasing that as well. The third thing, which was really important for us, was stability, and the tech team that has been building Algorand for so long. So Silvio Macali was the founder of Algorand. He is extremely well known in the cryptography world, and he's the one who has actually written a lot of the cryptography that we're using in several of these protocols, and he's actually referenced in these white papers. So the
Mm,
way that they have built this out, and the way that they have the pure proof of stake governance model that they have also created, we were highly impressed by that. So there's like a few different steps. What's also really cool is they've been functional for the last 2 years, and there has been no downtime in the network. There's a bunch of new networks that have come up. Again, I won't take their names, but there's been situations where entire networks have been shut down and restarted, and surprisingly, like no one's blinked an eye. But that's actually, I mean, that doesn't fit the thesis of the blockchain, and that's actually very problematic. So all of these reasons kind of helped us hone down onto Algorand. Having said that, the Algorand community is still very, very new. And most people, even though they've kind of heard of Algorand, like they don't really understand why it's better.
So let's say if they play each game, are they going to get a fee for each of the game that they play, or whenever they want to like cash out the funds that they did receive?
Algorand charges 0.001 per transaction, so it's like
That's nothing.
almost free,
Yeah.
as things stand. So it's extremely cheap in order to do these transactions right now. And if you look at some of the threads from the community, as the Algorand community is growing, you will see people talking about how they switched from Algorand's Dex, Tiny Man, into another project called Opal, which is in the music space, into another project called Yieldy, which is like a no loss lottery, into another project called Xfinite, which is a watch to earn platform. And they're doing all of this in 5 minutes. And they're like, oh, yeah, I had a
Whoa.
great morning this morning. I moved this much money around and I made this much money in 5 minutes and I'm done. So it's really really interesting. So I think as people kind of experience it more, they're going to understand the real value of the Algorand blockchain, because everything that Ethereum 2.0 is trying to achieve, Algorand has pretty much achieved a lot of it already. Right? They had a couple of issues around, I would say, like building up the developer community, because it was very hard to understand the assembly level language, but that's been solved. They were having some issues with just building out projects in the space, but then there's another platform called reach.sh, which has really simplified how you can code in that ecosystem as well. So personally, I mean, I'm biased, and I'm expecting really big things from the Algorand blockchain in the next few months.
It's like you guys complement each other. It's almost like you needed them, they needed you. So maybe
I
it's a
hope so. I mean, I hope it'll be a start of a great partnership. Yeah.
it will. I already have a really good feeling on how you represented them without even being a spokesperson. That there's some type of chemistry there between that company and yours.
No, I love it, right? I mean, I love the substance that they have. And even with our projects, we did not announce anything or we did not talk about our project till we were 95% ready with the product.
Yeah.
And, we put in our own money to build this out till the time we were at a stage that it's ready, because we like to launch stuff with substance. And they seem to have a very similar thesis and a mentality, which I love. So, it's great from that perspective.
Oh, that's great. I We're actually getting closer to time, so I wanted to squeeze in two more questions. What are some of the unique features found within the Zone ecosystem?
I think in order to explain that properly, like I was mentioning the NFTs earlier, I think we've done some super cool things with the NFTs, which may or may not have been done in the space already. But we have a special set of NFT characters, which you have to collect using these loot boxes. And once you have, let's say, out of these 100, you're able to collect a certain number of these elephants, you will then be able to get power ups within the Zone ecosystem. So we've gamified the NFT portion itself. So
Oh,
if
that's
you
cool.
have this, yeah, so if you have one of these special type of characters, what will happen is you'll get a free trading on the platform. So I can come in and play against you, and I don't have to pay any fees. Or if you have one of these characters, you can get reward multipliers. So instead of getting 1x on the staking rewards, you'll get like 1.5 times the money on the staking rewards. So we think that's super cool. And then we've created levels for these elephants, and you have to collect elephants in one level, and then they all come together like Pokemon cards, and then they basically get burnt and destroyed, and then you have to move to the next level. So it's actually deflationary NFTs, which should increase the buy pressure on the NFTs themselves. So we've gamified Zone, but then we've also gamified this entire NFT process in conjunction with Zone. With Zone specifically, I think we've covered a lot of it. I think the ability to just tie in any game that you want, and our objective is to tie in real games as well. So we're sponsoring 1v1 cricket competition coming up in Dubai soon. And the idea is that the players would be able to challenge each other even in physical sports, right? It's not necessarily restricted to esports. With esports, it's much easier to push in data into a smart contract. But
Hmm.
with physical sports, we've created a mechanism where we can allow people to come in and challenge each other on a game of tennis, on a game of golf. Because a lot of times when people lose, they don't pay up. So
That's true. They'll book it. They're
yeah,
like, the door's
exactly.
there. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna go. But if they are playing and challenging each other and other people that are watching that game, could they also make bets within Zone if they're
So
watching it?
not yet.
Ah,
Not
okay.
yet. We're focused on what we call games of skills, purely again from a regulatory perspective. But as I said, this protocol is going to be progressively decentralized over the next 12 months. And as the community gains more and more ownership over the protocol, the community can ultimately decide if they want to introduce something like that. And if they believe that there's not enough threat vectors from a regulatory perspective because we're sufficiently decentralized, we don't take
Hmm.
anyone's funds. We leave that decision up to the community. As far as we are concerned, we focus purely on games of skills for the moment.
And here I am just thinking of gambling. We're actually getting close to time, and I actually wanted to get some updates. So I don't know if there's anything that you can say that you can reveal for the community, or maybe after this call, you can tell me what kind of partnerships are coming into play. But yeah, what's going to be happening in the next few weeks or months?
So the next couple of months are super interesting. We have, this cricket tournament coming up, and then right after that, we're hosting a live chess tournament. So we're going to have flash chess where people are going to be challenging each other, and like a lucky winner will get a trip to come to Dubai
Oh
and
my
attend the
God,
World
no
Chess
way.
Championship. Yeah, so you better hone up on
God
your
dang
chess
it.
skills.
All right, I'll try. I guess I'll try for this one.
Yeah, so that's coming up soon, and then right after that, on the sidelines of Formula One, we're hosting on a yacht a very well-known Formula One racer and a couple of big influencers from the automotive world. So that's going to be huge.
Hmm.
And then we're going to have another big event by the end of the year as well. So our calendar is very full, and we have all of these partnerships locked down. In addition to these, we're also partnering with, like I was mentioning, some of these projects from Algorand.
Hmm.
All of these will be announced very soon, but we're going to be tapping into each other's networks, and I think it's going to be very exciting to see all these building blocks come together.
Yeah.
So that's happening soon too. And then, yeah, I mean, there's a couple of secret very, very big announcements coming with certain people getting involved in the project also. But we'll keep that for next time.
That's okay. We'll do a part two of this video, of this
Sounds like a
interview.
plan.
And you know what? I totally forgot. This slipped my mind. When are you guys going to launch this whole thing?
So we just did a private IDO earlier this morning
Oh,
with
wow.
Equinox,
Hmm.
which went amazingly well. And then we have our token generating event lined up in the next 3 weeks. We're still kind of finalizing an exact date, so I don't want to say anything incorrectly. But it's going to happen in the next 3 weeks in November, and we're really, really looking forward to that. In terms of testnet will be live in the next 48 hours, and then
Mm.
mainnet will be live in the next 10 days as well.
Well, good. Hey, I wanted to say thank you so much for coming in and kind of giving me the rundown on what's going to be happening in the next few weeks and months. And I'm excited for you and also the whole community as well.
Thank you so much.